They're around this cortical expansion loop pretty much since we parted ways with the ancestor that we had in common with chimpanzees, and so that's roughly about 7 million years ago. We've undergone a tremendous cortical expansion since then, and there's lots of reasons that have been propelling that. So what do you have to do when you're thinking? Well, you have to figure out where you are and how to see that. You have to figure out where you're going and what that should be, and then you have to generate and represent appropriate action strategies and simulate those in time and space. And then one of the things that's worth noting is that's what you do when you read a story or when you tell a story. And so part of the reason that you like to read stories is because that's exactly what stories are telling you, how someone is going about doing that. And so then you can see how, if you think about preference for fiction, which is actually part of openness, preference for fiction, the utility in fiction is that it allows you to experience a plethora of simulated worlds and to embody the consequences in abstraction without having to go through the trouble of doing that for yourself. And we do know there's good empirical literature now showing, some of it done by ex-students from my lab, showing that reading fiction does improve your interpersonal intelligence, for example, your ability to understand the position of other people, logically enough, because that's what you're doing when you're reading. So, okay, so I'm trying to give you some background so that you can understand what it means to abstract and also why it's useful, because we need that in order to move forward with the idea of intelligence. So here we go. Okay, so that's how you act voluntarily, and then that's how you represent how you act voluntarily, and then that's how you think about how you represent acting voluntarily. And the reason I'm telling you this is because it's useful to think about intelligence as abstract action, because we tend to think about intelligence as abstract representation, right? Intelligence is the manipulation of facts or the understanding of facts. But if you look at it neurologically, I would say that's a misapprehension, because the part of the brain that does the highest level of abstract thinking is actually something that's emerged from the motor cortex. Now, that doesn't mean you don't use your intelligence to represent. You do. But the purpose of intelligence is to represent potential action patterns.